I'm gonna say a comparison, and I know a lot of mothers are gonna be mad at me for using this comparison. But if I had a dog that only drinks piss, I wouldn't pull out my dick in public to feed it.
There was never a reason for me to breastfeed in public.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dave Show. Honestly, let's get straight to it. Today we're gonna be talking about should women breastfeed in public. Now, me personally, I have a weird relationship with that. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but at the same time, I don't think they should also. Here's my reason. 2 days ago, I was in the waiting room. I was waiting for a drug test. It was me and a woman and a baby in the waiting room, right? We're in the waiting room. I'm waiting to get my drug test, and the baby started crying. And I looked over, and the mother started looking at me all weird. I'm like, what are you looking at me for? Right? I'm minding my business. I'm on my phone. I'm playing games. Like, don't look at me. Right? So one of the nurse in that waiting room came and was like, hey, sir, do you mind stepping out for 5 minutes? She needs to breastfeed her kid. I looked at her like she was crazy. What do you
Wait,
mean?
in the public waiting room?
In the waiting room. She was like, the nurse came and was like, hey, do you mind stepping out for 5 minutes? She has to breastfeed her kid. I'm like, what that got to do with me? Breastfeed your kid. The fuck? That has nothing to do with me. Mind you, I live in Wisconsin. It's been like 30, 20 degrees for like the last 8 months. I'm not stepping out just because you wasn't prepared to feed your kid. I don't have a problem with them breastfeeding their kids in public. I just don't like the fact that I have to accommodate you because you didn't prepare for your kid before you came out the house. Just like how you wear pants before leaving the house, just like how you put on a shirt, you put on your shoes, you put on your socks. Can you prepare yourself and your kid to not have someone else accommodate you in public? Like bring bottles, bring a whole bunch of stuff you need so I don't have to worry about your problems. So
Mhm.
that's one of my main issue. And lastly, I'm gonna say a comparison, and I know a lot of mothers are gonna be mad at me for using this comparison. But if I had a dog that only drinks piss, I wouldn't pull out my dick in public to feed it. So today we have a special guest.
Yeah, that was a horrible comparison, but
Today, today we have a special guest. Her name's Daphne. She's a mother, and she's gonna be telling me her side and how she feel about breastfeeding in public. Without further ado, Daphne.
hi guys. Okay, so my view on this, surprisingly, is quite similar to yours. Um, I don't know if it's because I'm more of a private person. I don't know. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of comparisons that has to do with like playboys and women exploiting themselves and barely wearing any clothes and like people suddenly having a problem when Mother Nature is like taking its course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm literally both of those people. Like I am a mother, but I'm no longer breastfeeding. I am a mother. And two, I'm someone who, I don't know. I think how I dress is it's up for debate. Like it could be a little exposing sometimes. I like cleavage. I like to show cleavage. And I'm saying this to say that I don't think it's anything compared to when someone is breastfeeding. You have to actually take out your entire breast, expose nipple, areolas to breastfeed your child. And I think there's so many options to doing it to where you don't have to inconvenience other people or make other people feel uncomfortable or feel like they're violating you without intentionally violating you because you're the one who whipped out your breast, right?
As a guy, like if you pull your titty out, it's a titty. Why do you want me to not act like it's a titty? It's a titty.
It's a titty,
It's a
right?
sexual body part.
People will argue that, oh, I say, okay, you can have a throw. You can use a blanket and properly just cover the side where you're currently breastfeeding. I wasn't comfortable doing that stuff in public at all. You couldn't catch me dead breastfeeding, even with a blanket. Like, it just made me feel uncomfortable. Me doing it, other people knowing that I'm doing it. Listen, I can go into a stall. I can go into a private room. I can go to my car. I can go home. You can pump and pre-fill bottles, you know, or you can just, like I said, you can just have a blanket over you while you're breastfeeding your child. I personally, my opinion, I feel like, yeah, it can be inappropriate, and it's kind of, you're including complete strangers in like all of the public to something that is so personable and intimate, like something so precious, a private bond that you're supposed to be having between you and your child. You're kind of doing it out in public, and I feel like there's so many other options to not attract so much attention to yourself. I think your situation was quite, how do I say this? That was audacious. The audacity of those
Insane.
people to ask you to step out because this person needed to breastfeed their child. And some may call you like not a gentleman, but I think it's really selfish and insensitive to like ask someone who's in a public waiting area to step outside in the cold weather so
It
that this
is.
woman could breastfeed their child. Mind you, what made it worse is that you were at a clinic. So clearly, there could have been several other vacant rooms available where that nurse could have told that mother to go and privately breastfeed her child. And
Thank
then the
you.
look they give you as if you're supposed to already know that you had to like excuse yourself, that's weird.
Like
That's
I was
that's
so
weird, and
mad.
they're feeling way too entitled.
I
Like,
was
no.
so I was so mad. I was so furious. I'm like,
I would be too.
I looked at her in a way where it's like, come again? Like I didn't believe the words that came out of her mouth. Sir,
Yeah,
can you please
no.
step outside? She needs to breastfeed her kid. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Be prepared when you're coming
Yeah,
outside with a
yeah.
child. You
You
know what I
you
mean?
can pump. You can pump before you leave the house. You can bring a blanket. You can go to your car.
Here's the
You
thing.
can go to a room. There's several options if you don't want people to see you.
I feel like it's entitlement, right?
It is entitlement.
It's it's some type of entitlement where it's like you better do this because here's
You
what
will
I'm
look
dealing
so
with.
bad and
And
insensitive.
it's like as a guy, men, I don't believe men has a lot of rights this day and age, right? If
Mhm.
I were to come out and say, "No, I'm not fucking leaving." It would have been escalated, the police would have been
Mhm.
involved, and I would have looked
Mhm.
like the bad guy.
Yeah,
But
you will.
I just left and walk away. But I will say this, Daphne, I'm surprised that you're on my side. I was fully prepared to go on debate. I
I
thought it was
don't
about
know,
to be a
babe. I
screaming
think we
match.
think alike in a lot of areas. I don't know. If you were to bring me in on another discussion, I mean, you'll be surprised. I'll probably be on your side for those too. I don't know. I'm just someone who likes to make sense of things.
Let me ask you
That's
this.
that. I thought that was common sense. Me personally, I didn't even know that could be a debate, and I realized it's an everyday debate.
It is. It is. And
I'm shocked. I'm like, why is this a debate?
let me
We're
ask you this.
literally talking about popping out your own secret private area. This is a private part, you would
Right.
call it. Like, wow. I don't care what you're doing, why you're pulling it out. Then if that's the case, it's a necessity for people to pee, to have to pee. It's a necessity for people to have to poop. It's a necessity for someone to need to throw up. So that's natural. That's natural and part of nature for you to pee. Y'all don't make open bathroom stalls like out in the street with no bars and no walling or anything. Like you go
Right.
into a stall and no one can see you.
It's a personal thing.
So I
It's
literally think it's the same thing. That would have been a better comparison.
no,
But
no.
that
If I
dog thing was
no, no, no.
weird.
My comparison with the if my dog drunk piss, I wouldn't feed it in public is a great comparison. But let me ask you this: when you was a mother, has there ever been a time where you had to breastfeed in public?
No,
Really?
no.
So it is
Like I
possible.
said, I never did it. There was never a reason for me to breastfeed in public. And I was engorged. I was constantly pumping. It's not like I had it easy to where I wasn't breastfeeding. I was doing half and half. He was on formula and he was on breast milk. There was never a reason for me to breastfeed him. I either pumped, or I went to my car, or I just went home, or I went into a room. I never openly breastfed ever, not
I,
even with a blanket. I agree with mothers doing it with a blanket. Don't believe the people that say, "Oh, I'm making my child uncomfortable for you. They can't breathe." Lies. They can breathe. They can breathe. It's the way you put it. It's not gonna bother them. If anything, it makes them more comfortable. You're removing the light. It's more comfort. It kind of feels like you're bundling them up. When people came to visit me, when I had Aiden and I was in my room and I had to breastfeed, that's the method I used in my own home. But in public, never. I never breastfed in public. Just wasn't comfortable, and I didn't feel like making other people comfortable.
What do you say to the women that
Uncomfortable, sorry.
what do you say to the women that says if my child hungry, I'm going to feed my child. I don't care where I'm at. What do you say to those women?
Hey, sis, you want to show your nipples? Do you, but don't have an issue with anyone else who's around you in your surrounding area, and don't expect for anyone to leave your surrounding area because I would equate that to indecent exposure.
Wow. I
I
feel
don't
like
see
I
I
feel
don't
like
see the difference.
I came on here to debate. I came on here to I came on here with a sword and armor, but you was on my side. That's crazy.
You
I was
gotta find
not
somebody
expecting
else.
you. I was not expecting you to be on the same boat as me.
No, it's indecent exposure. Why are you showing your titty?
Oh man, that's insane. But
Yeah.
I know you have to go. You don't have to, you got stuff to do. I wish this would have been a longer stream, but next time. I
Mhm.
appreciate you, taking the time out of your day for us to have this short debate.
Mhm. It
So
wasn't a debate.
it wasn't.
It was
It
a
was a
discussion.
it was a discussion. So
Yeah.
thanks again, Daphne. Till next time. But yeah, that is insane. I was not expecting her to be on my side. But like I said, I don't have a problem with women breastfeeding in public, but don't make it to where I have to accommodate you. I don't want to do that. You have a kid, prepare before you come out. Don't tell me you can't, because your job as a mother is to protect your child and prepare around that child. Before you leave the house, do what you gotta do to not bother anybody else. Yes, I'm gonna use the word bother. Shout out to Daphne for coming on. I wish I wish she would have disagreed with me so we could, talk in depth. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. I'm out. If you like that video, I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. So like, share, subscribe, and get me there.